Hey there, welcome to the Scattered Fashionista channel. I'm so glad you're here to join us today, and we are going to talk about time tracking today, keeping a time log. This is something I've heard throughout the years is a great way to build your productivity by analyzing what your life is like. So we're going to walk through that a little bit, and I'm going to tell you about my journey of time tracking through 2 different weeks. But to start off, time tracking is just keeping a record of everything you do for usually 1 to 2 week period. So you can just keep it in 30-minute increments, 15-minute increments, whatever works for your style. I personally tried 15-minute increments and found that that was too much for me, so I went back to the 30-minute increments. But why do you want to track your time? I mean, why keep a record? That's like, it's a pain. It really is a pain. There are a couple reasons. First of all, it's going to give you a realistic picture of your life. Unless you're lying to yourself, which we all are capable of doing. This is what my life looked like July 27th through August 2nd. And I can go back and say, these are some things I could tweak a little bit. You're aware of where your time goes, where you waste it, where you use it for work or something more than you realize. So you're giving something more time than you realize it needs. And it's also going to give you discoveries about yourself that you can take and then analyze. So I'm just going to walk you through my 2 weeks of time tracking, focusing mostly on the first one. But what I did is I wrote down everything I did and then I color coded it. So you can see here where it's kind of yellow. Those are my morning routines. Orange is any time spent with my kids where we're actively doing something. Green would be work. Pink is me time. And then orange with blue lines would be with the whole family, and then these lighter blue are times with just my husband, and then dark blue is sleep. So that's just a rough sketch of it. Now I will say in the second week, see how this purple here, those are really naps. So in the second week I turned them the darker blue. But I'm going to walk you through this. Now, you know, I'm a work-at-home mom. I have 2 smallish children at home. This is how my numbers added up at the end of the week. I spent 14.25 hours on my morning routines, which comes out to about 2 hours a day. I spent 25 active hours with my kids, just like one-on-one, not watching TV, but playing, doing stuff together. I was pretty darn proud of that number. We spent 8.5 hours together as a family, and those were mostly meal times. I spent 29.25 hours on work as a at-home mom. That just blew my mind. I have no idea how that happened, but it happened. 20 hours were spent on me doing what I wanted to do. Wow. 63 hours on sleep and 14 hours with my husband James. Now, the numbers changed a little bit over the next week. Like I had 5 hours less with James because he was sleeping more, and I had 5 hours more for me. So just a little bit of differences there. This is what I learned as I was keeping track of those hours, is that 1, I work way more than I give myself credit for. And that's huge because that gives me a little bit more freedom to take it easy on myself when I need to know that, you know, life has its ebbs and flows and we need to go with it. The second thing I learned is that I spend a lot of active quality time with my kids. And as a mom, I know a lot of us have mom guilt and we feel like we're not doing enough. This is a great way to give yourself a picture and say, hey, I'm doing a good job, and it's right here on paper. You can see it. I can show it to people. I can tell them what I did with my kids. And not just for other people, but for me and for you to have that for yourself. I learned that I have a lot of time for myself to do activities, 20 hours of time to spend on myself. So I did some art, I watched way too much TV, just some little projects here and there. But that's a lot of time. That's like half of a work week for myself, on myself. And another thing I learned is that I need a lot of sleep. I need about 9 hours of sleep per day. That was not a happy conclusion, but it makes sense why I need so many naps, is because if I'm skimping on sleep at night, I'm gonna have to catch up with it later. So those are some discoveries I made about myself. Obviously, your discoveries will be totally different. Now, what will I do with the information that I got from tracking that time? Well, like I said, I'm gonna cut myself some slack. I don't need to be doing all the things all the time. If I feel like I'm hitting a wall, I can take a step back, breathe, maybe change focus for a little while, and then come back to that activity. And also making sleep a bigger priority, getting to bed at a decent time, consistently getting up at the same time, and if I'm not able to get those 9 hours, I don't think I can, then I'm gonna have to squeeze in those naps somewhere. So I'm gonna have to fit work and naps and kids and everything all together in this great mosaic. Now, what I have for you is a challenge for you to go and track your time. And there are a couple ways you can do it. You can take a book or just a piece of paper or an Excel document and just draw lines on paper, whether you want it to be 15-minute increments or 30-minute increments or whatever. Or you can head on over to the blog, and I'll have the link below, and go to the goodies section and download this time tracking sheet. You can print up enough for a whole week and print it on one page, front and back, and you'll be good to go. But I am so excited to see what kind of discoveries you make about your life as you try time tracking, and I would love for you to come back here, comment, let us know what's changing and how this has benefited your life. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, that you would like, subscribe, and share. Bye.